Finally, we must talk about signals. How the signals through which information is transmitted. There are two types of signals: analog and digital signals. The analog signals vary and they can take any value. So, for example, this is an analog signal. This one, they vary and they can take any value. A digital signal can only take one of two states. For example, a digital signal can only have a 1 or a 0, or a high or a low, an on and an off. So, as represented in this graph here, we have a digital signal where there is a 1 or a 0, a 1 or a 0. That's a digital signal. So, sound waves that can be transmitted as digital or analog signals. So the sound waves that can be transmitted as digital or analog signals. Signals for speech or music are made up of varying frequencies. To make out the information clearly, the signal needs to be transmitted with as little interference as possible. The signal undergoes digital sampling. It is converted before and after transmission, after being received, before transmission, and what is it? Uh, and After being received, the signal is being converted from digital to analog. So what I'm saying that when you are speaking in a microphone, for example, that's an analog signal. But before that signal is transmitted, it is converted to digital. It is converted to digital, and then once it is in digital, it is transmitted as digital. Then when it is received by another person's device, let's say radio, then it is converted back from digital to analog, then ultimately to sound so that you can hear it. I shall talk about the advantages of digital over analog below. So that's our final points. The key advantages of digital data transmission in digital form compared to analog: the signal can be regenerated, so there is a minimum noise. You see, when the signal, imagine you are trying to communicate, I'm trying to speak to you, and then you are sitting, let's say, 20 meters away from me, but in between there is someone who is also speaking. It means that the information that I'm saying will arrive to you, but it will have some noise added to it, meaning that you will not be able sometimes to make clearly what I'm saying. So that's noise. So noise happens even when you're transmitting some sound. When you transmit sound for, let's say, when you transmit sound waves like radio waves and microwaves, there's sound as the waves moves. Even when they are moving hundreds of kilometers, there is a noise which will attach itself to the radio waves or microwaves. So this noise can make the person who's going to listen to be unable to make clearly what they were listening to. But if we had transmitted the data from analog to digital, and then digital was transmitted, when we regenerate from digital back to analog again, we are able to remove the noise actually, which would have attached itself. So the person can hear a clear sound as was produced. Then another one is that digital is better than analog because there is accurate signal regeneration. The range of digital signals is larger than the range of analog signals. They cover larger distances. So the first one was there is accurate signal regeneration, which makes it possible for us to cover large distances when we are transmitting data as digital. Digital signals can enable and increase the rate of transmission of data compared to analog. So with the digital signal, we can transmit a lot of data compared to just analog. Finally, an extra data can be added so that the signal can be checked for errors. So we can add some few things, some markers into the data so that the signal can be checked for some errors when it arrives on the other side.